Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, and welcome to this educational presentation where today we're going to be introducing our brand new Managing the Trade course. Now, this is a two-part course, meaning that we will have it over 2 days where we'll really dig deep into what it really means to manage the trade. Now, it's going to be a little bit different from other courses we've had in the past where we mainly focus on a strategy or an indicator on how to actually trade those tools. But this is going to be different. We're going to be talking about something that is a little bit more, has more of an insight into actual trading, how to manage the trade. Now, the reason why we presented this course, and we put it together, I should say, and we'll be presenting it within the following weeks, is because a number of students have contacted us with examples like this. As we look at this chart here in team, we see here that this was an actual buy signal generated and that the student would have taken it and bought, and then this happens, okay? So you say to yourself, wow, okay, this is not turning out right. And this is where most students say, now what do I do? Well, see, with proper trade management, you should never ask yourself, now what do I do? Because you're always involved in the process, always involved in managing the trade. And what we're going to be teaching you in the course is whether you held on to this trade or not, you could have potentially captured 14 points and exited at this point. And this is all because we're going to be using proper trade management. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, introducing my new Managing the Trade two-part course, which is going to be happening roughly within the next few weeks. Now, everything you're seeing today is displayed coming from our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform that actually teaches you how to manage trades. So welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. I've been trading now for 47 years, if you can believe it. I started my trading career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange, where I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. So that's where we get the name Specialist Trading. A specialist is just someone who made markets in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So I made markets during the crash of 87 and the bull market that followed. And then once I left the floor in the mid-90s, I managed money and I continued to trade my own account. And roughly about 15 years ago, I teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies and we formalized Specialist Trading. And our only goal was simply to educate traders. You see, we're not the type of a website or a platform where we want to tell traders what to buy or what to sell on a nightly basis. We don't give opinions about what we think the market should be doing or not doing. That's up to you to find out. What we want to do is put the power back in your hands by giving you this sound fundamental education that has stood the test of time. And hopefully it will be able to elevate your trading. Because if there's one thing I've learned in the 47 years I've been trading, is that the only traders who are consistent, the ones that last not just a couple of good years or maybe even 5 or 10 years, but the ones that last decades, these are the traders that make their own trading decisions. They don't go to chat rooms or trading rooms. They don't worry about news or earnings. They have a plan in place. They know how to manage it. And with proper trade management, they're highly consistent, and that's what gives them this longevity. So this is our goal here. This is our purpose at Specialist Trading, trying to instill all these things that really help professional and seasoned traders so that you can be a consistent trader and not just have a couple of maybe good months or good years, but a couple of good decades. That's our goal at Specialist Trading. Now, before we begin, we are required to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using the methods and techniques I'm going to be sharing with you in the two-part course, trade management course, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And since we are an educational company, all examples I'm about to share with you are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, another way to get education on a daily basis is to follow us on Twitter or X, or subscribe to YouTube, our YouTube channel. This is being live streamed right now on YouTube. So if you rather prefer to watch our YouTube channel and go back to older videos, you can subscribe and we'll have a lot more content if we get much more subscriptions. Either way, you can still visit us on X or Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it. Every day I post about 5 to 7 different snapshots of signals our strategies have generated, as well as little bits of financial wisdom. So there's lots of great free education on a daily basis. Please either feel free to follow us on Twitter or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now remember, once again, we are a little bit different from other websites you may have attended and webinars before because our only goal is simply to teach you how to trade with a specialist edge. You see, a good mentor does not tell you what to buy or sell on a nightly basis. He doesn't tell you what he thinks the market's going to do. That's up to you to find out. A good mentor doesn't trade for you. He teaches you how to trade. So that's our goal at Specialist Trading. That's the same way I was taught some 47 years ago by my mentors, and what I truly believe has sustained me. And hopefully it'll be able to sustain you as well. Hopefully for that amount of time as well. Okay. Okay. So we're going to be introducing our new Managing the Trade course today. All right. This won't be a real long presentation because I can't give away everything that we're going to be teaching you, because then we wouldn't have a course. But I'm going to be explaining to you what exactly is offered, because as I said earlier, this is different from other courses we've had in the past, where we're really going to take a deep dive into what it means to apply proper trade management. So if you still don't know what trade management is, I know a lot of you are probably asking, what is trade management? Well, trade management is everything a trader does after a trade is open until the trade is closed. You see, when you're talking about a strategy or an indicator, you're already talking about how to get in or how to actually trade. But see, that differs from trade management. Trade management is entirely different. We're already assuming you're in the trade, regardless of what strategy you're using. It could be one of yours, one of mine, regardless of what market you're trading. It makes no difference, because trade management focuses on what you're doing after the trade is open and until it is closed. By managing trades, traders can increase their profits while minimizing risk. So this is another thing also included. We can increase our chances for a more successful trade by either increasing the profits or minimizing the risk. So you see how important it is to have proper trade management. Most traders, including myself when I first started, just would say, okay, well, here I'm in the trade. I have my stop in place. I'm going to get out when it gets here. And so I'll just kind of wait. Well, that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's no trade management involved. You have an opportunity to increase your odds for success even better, increased profits, minimizing risk if you apply trade management. That's why it's so fundamentally important to understand exactly what proper trade management is. So let me go over the course curriculum with you and show you some examples of what we'll be offering. We're going to go in a little deeper into the explanation of why trade management is so important. You just saw the standard definition, but I'll show you exactly why it's so important, and actually share with you that it's a mindset to use and apply proper trade management. We'll talk about initiating the trade. Now, here's a really important technique I'll share with you in the course, which answers the question, does the market agree with your entry? Because, usually we just say, okay, here's the entry point, or a signal has been generated, or that guy on TV told me to buy this, and so I just do it. But is the market agreeing with your choice of entry, either to buy or sell? For example, let's look at this signal here in Costco. All right, this was an actual buy signal with one of our strategies. Now, the strategy rules were met, the requirements were all met, and it generated a buy signal. But with this trade management technique I'll be sharing with you, the market said it did not agree with the setup. So no entry was taken, and look at how you saved yourself a huge loss. It works the other way as well. Here was a sell signal in letter O. Okay, looking at this, all the requirements were met. You should have gone short or exited your position, whatever you wanted to do. But using this technique, the market said, no, it's not right to get into this trade and to go short or to sell. And so you didn't take the trade. And with proper trade management, you avoided a large loss. Now, one of the best things about the techniques I'll be sharing with you is that they can be applied to any market and any time frame. For example, here's an example of a buy signal in the Canadian dollar. It makes absolutely no difference if we're trading crypto, E-mini futures, the Canadian dollar, or stocks, because this technique can be transferred onto all markets. And once again, it did not agree. The market was not saying to enter this. And so you would have stood on the sidelines and avoided a huge loss in the Canadian dollar. This is just one of the techniques we'll be sharing with you for trade management. We'll also be talking about taking control of your risk. Now, most people say, well, Steve, I take control of my risk. I only want to risk $1,000 per trade, or maybe less than that. I'm pretty much taking control of it. Well, are you really taking control of your risk? Because the market doesn't know this account size you have. It doesn't know whether you have $1 million to trade with or whether you have $1,000 to trade with. The market will just do what it wants to do. So you have to use this technique and this it's an actual formula for taking control of your risk. As we look here, there was a buy signal in AMC, okay, earlier this year. Now, as you can see, it didn't work out well. Now, with the standard way, an approach to most traders trading this with a standard account size, you would have lost a little over $1,100. But with this trade management technique, this formula I'll be sharing with you, you would have cut with the exact same account size, with the exact same rules and stop loss and everything, you would have lost only $400. Do you see how we minimized risk? Now, same thing can work to the upside. Let's say you have a standard account, okay? You have a buy signal in NVIDIA. This was going back to earlier in this year in May. And this is one of our strategy signals that generated a buy signal. Now, trading the way most people trade, well, guess what? You had a nice profit. And with a standard account size and trading the way most people trade, you could have made roughly about $4,400. This is just an average estimate. But using this formula, this trade management technique, you could have actually doubled your amount to make. This was a potentially $8,800 profit using the same account, using the same entry, exit points, just using this simple formula, all because we're applying this trade management technique that I'll teach you in the course. We'll also be talking about turning a losing trade into a winner. This is a fantastic technique because how many times have you been in a trade and you're all excited and then it goes against you, right? The minute you buy, it goes down, and the minute you sell, it goes up. And you say, oh gosh, this doesn't work. I'm going to sit on the sidelines because I can't afford to take another losing trade. Well, what if there was a trade management technique that could turn that losing trade into a winner? I'm going to teach you this technique in the course. We actually have only shared this in one other course, this technique. We got rave reviews about it. So I decided to use it in this trade management course. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's an example in Microsoft. This was an actual buy signal generated by one of our strategies. And the market has been coming down rather strong, so you figure like this is a great buy. But look what happened. It went up for a little bit and then automatically went lower. Now, you could have either been stopped out, or let's say you're still holding on to a losing position and you're saying to yourself, gosh, this is really, I don't know if I can sleep at night holding on to this. Or maybe you say to yourself, I don't know if I can sleep at night taking the big loss I took. Either way, using this technique, you had a chance to actually get back into the trade if you wanted to, if you were stopped out, or hold on to the position, and you could have taken advantage of this winning trade, all by using this simple pattern technique that I'll share with you in the course. Works the other way as well. Here's a 4-hour chart of the Swiss franc. All right, one of our strategies generated a sell signal. You're all excited for it to go down. You sold it, and it goes down for a little bit, but now you're stopped out. Well, with this simple managing the trade technique, you could have actually potentially captured all this move to the downside. So you would have turned a losing trade into a winner by using the same trade management technique that I will explain to you in the course. As I said earlier, I've only talked about this technique once in another course, and we got such rave reviews about it. I'll be sharing it with you in this course as well. Here's another example, a buy signal in letter L. Automatically, you were either stopped out or you had a large loss on your hands. So it's a losing trade, right? Just by seeing if this pattern was available, you could have potentially turned this into a winning trade. We'll also talk about how to stay in a winning trade longer. This is one of the big things that a lot of students say. They say, you know, Steve, I'm trading your strategies, or I'm trading one of mine or someone else's, and it's doing pretty well, but I get out too quickly. And I see the market take off, and I don't know how to stay in these trades. We'll share with you a couple of great techniques on how to stay in the trade much, much longer. Also, we'll talk about how to re-enter a winning trade. So let's say you get out and it just keeps going in your direction and you're just afraid to pull the trigger to get back in, or you don't know where to get back in. We'll share with you a couple of great ways to re-enter to a winning trade with confidence to pull the trigger to get back in. I know when I was first started trading, my mentors were skilled at re-entering into a trade. It was very difficult for me. I didn't know how to do it, and I thought, well, once I'm out, I'm out. But they shared with me these techniques, how to get back in, and they gave me the confidence using these techniques to get back in. So this is what trade management does. It allows you to see what you're doing and give you the confidence to re-enter a trade or to apply any of these trade management techniques because you see the consistency in them. Also, we'll give you many, many more techniques from the trading floor. What I've shared with you right now are things that I've learned and accumulated in my 47 years of trading. Most of the things you'll be learning in our two-part course you've never seen before on another platform because they are things taken from the trading floor. A lot of these things aren't privy to people who are just normal traders, who are just programmers or people that have just started trading. These are things that are actually taken from the trading floor that I've been using myself for my own trade management, and I really think can help you. These are techniques you won't find anywhere else. Now, we're going to throw in an extra bonus included with this as well, because everything you saw today is displayed on our platform. Everything is one click away. The ability to re-enter into the trade, the ability to see if the market is agreeing with you to take the trade, all these little techniques are all on our platform. And with one click, you can find out exactly what they are. So because of this, we're also going to share with you a great strategy in and of itself. It's not a strategy, it's actually a course. This is our Patterns in Equity course. This is where we take it to the next level. This is trade management on steroids because before, as I said, when you're looking at our platform, everything is just looking at the individual trade. But now with PI, or Patterns in Equity, what we're looking at is your actual profit and loss. We're making a pattern out of your profit and loss statement, and then we're adding the trade management to that actual profit and loss. Let me share with you what I mean here. Here's an actual P&L chart made up of one of our students that was trading, okay? And they did very well. This is the wins and losses. Every time he had a losing trade, it was a down, and every time he had a winning trade. So this is the profit and loss statement. It was doing very well, and then look what happened. It went straight down. So this trader was losing at this point. So if we started right here and then ended right here, basically it made $14,929 or close to $15,000. Not a bad, profit for only trading for roughly about 3 or 4 months, okay? But here's the main thing. Look at what we call a drawdown. While he was trading, the system or the strategy he was using went into a slump. So he actually left on the table nearly $28,000, $27,897. So this was his losses while he was having a profit. Well, once we applied PI, and we'll share with you in the course, the PI trade management module, you'll see that we increased the profit from $14,929 up to over $32,000. But here's the most important thing. We decreased the risk and the losses down from nearly $28,000 down to just a little bit over $6,000. So this is unbelievable. This is trade management on your actual strategy profit and loss statement. This is also going to be included. We had an actual course by itself using PI. We're including that entire course within the trade management course. This is managing the trade course that will really take your trading to the next level. Okay, let me recap what I shared with you today. Remember, trade management is not about the strategy. It's not about having all the requirements come together and tell you, well, there's a setup to buy or a setup to sell. That's not trade management. Trade management is everything a trader does after a trade is open, after you pull the trigger, after you enter, until the trade is closed. Now, see, most of us never concentrate on this part. We just say, okay, I'm in. I'll figure out where I'm going to get out, and I'll place a stop, and I'll just watch. That's okay, but that's only half the job. We can still be managing the trade while it's open. And this is what trade management does. By managing trades, traders can increase their profits, as we just shared with you right now, while minimizing risk. So it's taking your trading up another notch. It's increasing your chances for success. It's elevating you as a trader. Okay, so let me talk about a great attendee offer we have to you today. We're listening to this. Remember, our course is going to be starting rather soon. This is our Managing the Trade course, our special trade management course that is entirely new. It's what you do once you're in the trade. And remember, the best thing about managing the trade and what we're going to be sharing with you is that you can apply it to any market. You can apply it to any time frame. And we're also including a full course. This is our PI course, which I share with you, that works applied towards your profit and loss. It has an uncanny ability to increase your odds for consistency while minimizing your risk. This entire full course, which I gave roughly a couple of years ago and was a 2-day course, you're included, this is included in your Managing the Trade course. On top of that, you'll get educational correspondence. Now, everything you saw today, once again, was displayed coming from the PTS Primo charting platform. I developed this with Pro Trader Strategies to make trading simple. Everything is one click away where you don't have to figure it out and go through using a hand calculator the way I did. It's all right there for you, okay? Now, if you already have our platform, that's great, but we know a lot of you are new to our courses and our studies. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw in a full year absolutely free. This is a nearly $2,000 value, absolutely free, just for signing up for the trade management course. Now, on top of that, within the course, we're going to be using a lot of our, what I like to call our VIP indicators, things like the PTS Extreme Trend Indicator or the PET-D directional tool. It's a color bar tool. We're also going to be using the new PSBI. This is a breakdown indicator. These things will all be included in the course. Once again, if you're brand new to our methods and techniques, these will be brand new. These will be included within your price. But we know a lot of you have already purchased either one or maybe all of these things, including the PTS Primo charting platform. So because of that, we will give you a credit towards this course so that you'll get a nice discount where we will subtract the value of these certain things. So if you already have the PET-D, if you already have the PTSXD Extreme Trend Indicator, or if you have the PSBI Breakout Indicator, we will give you a credit. As well, if you have the PTS Primo charts already, we will also give you a credit. But I see here a lot of new names of new prospective students that have never purchased any of these things. So you'll still get a great discount where you'll be able to save anywhere from 5 to possibly even 10% off the price. Remember, with trade management, you will never again have to ask the question, now what do I do? Now, we've all been there before, right? I know I've been there when I first started trading. You're in a trade, you're all excited, and then things go the opposite direction of what you thought. And then you say to yourself, oh, great, now what do I do? Most traders, myself included, I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't do this, but most traders all of a sudden turn into from a day trader or a swing trader into a long-term investor, because now you're holding on to the position and you're hoping and praying for it to come back, right? We've all been there. Well, with trade management, proper trade management, and with all these techniques and indicators we'll be sharing with you in the 2-part course, you won't have to ask, what do I do now? You'll always have a plan in place and different variables to either increase your odds for a higher profit or decrease your risk. This is really invaluable. You need to know how to trade and what to do while the trade is in place. And in this 2-part series, you'll learn all the techniques I've accumulated in nearly 5 decades, okay? So here's what I suggest. Contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. They can give you pricing, early bird pricing, where you get a deep discount as well. And once again, they can talk to you about if you already have any of these indicators or the platform, they can give you a ready-made discount and a credit because you already have these things that you've purchased before. I would give them a call. There's absolutely no obligation at area code 310-598 6677 to have trading consultants manning the phones. They would be more than happy to take your order over the phone and just answer any questions. And now that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. It's not a live link, but we've just posted a live link in the webinar chat box. So if you open that up, it will give you more information about pricing, also about what else is included in the 2-part course, okay? As I stated, this wouldn't be a very long presentation today because if it went any longer, I'd have to go into detail and actually explain some of these techniques. And I just can't do that because there's a ton of information and it's so jam-packed. It's going to be a 2-day course. And that's why I just don't want to give away everything right now. But it's really, in my opinion, invaluable. It'll take your trading to the next level. Now, we have some time here for questions. If you have any questions, just go to the either the question and answer box or the chat box. Click them on. I'll answer them all to the best of my ability. Someone's asking, when does the class begin? Our first class, remember this is a 2-class series, so it's going to be 2 days. The first one is set for the 25th. That's 2 weeks from this Friday. So that's our first class, and it will be on Friday the 25th. Someone's asking what time. Usually, we have our classes on Friday at 10 o'clock, the same time as this presentation, but on a Friday, and that's 10 o'clock Pacific time. The reason why we like to have them on Friday at this time is because it gives you the entire weekend to study the information and to look over charts and say, hey, wow, this really works. This could have really helped me. Or you have all that time over the weekend to look at the platform and study everything. Now, we've done this before in the past where we've had a number of students. We have students all over the world in Europe. We also have students in Australia, different time zones. And if we see that the majority of them would like to have it at a different time, we're always flexible. For example, we've had presentations on a Monday before the opening. We've had them during the weekends. If you like it on the weekends, we can always accommodate the majority of the class. So you can always tell us what's best for you. But this seems to be the best time. So if you're asking what day and what time, the day is going to be, the first one is set for tentatively for Friday, the 25th, a couple of weeks from this Friday. And it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. Someone's asking, how long are the classes usually? The classes are anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. I've had classes that usually go roughly about, so that's roughly about an hour or 2 hours, basically on average. So I would say no more than 2 hours on average. And everything is being recorded. So if you can't make the class, it will be recorded. You can watch it at your own leisure over the weekend, okay? So if you can't make it, everyone will get even if you do make it, you still get a recording because everything was recorded. What if I can't make the class? How do I ask questions? That's a great question. Well, everyone will get my private email address. So let's say you are able to take the class. You can ask me questions during the class the way you're asking right now, and we can converse. We like to keep the classes small to a minimum. So what we usually do is we keep it to a small, intimate number, and that way it's not overbearing. We have just too many people and we can't ask enough questions and we're here for 5 hours. We like to keep it to a small, limited amount and just close it after that. So if you're in the class, you can ask me questions. It's a more intimate setting. But if you can't make the class, if you work or if you're just not able to do it, you will be able to watch the video, and then you all have my personal email address. So you can contact me whenever you like. You can contact me over the weekend, before the market opens, during the market hours, after the close, and I will answer any questions that you may have. A lot of times during our courses, a lot of students study the information and they just want to check with me that they're learning and doing it correctly. So I always ask for you to send me a snapshot of what you're having a question about, and then I check your work. So it's the next best thing I always say to having me sit right next to you. But unfortunately, I can't travel to Europe. I can't travel to different parts of the United States and sit next to everyone. So having my personal email address is the next best thing. And that just comes right to me. It doesn't go to an assistant. Your email does not go to a salesperson. It comes directly to me, okay? Tech support. Yeah, someone's asking about tech support. Pro Trader Strategies handles all the tech support. So if you have questions about the platform, they will do that for you, though. They will set you up with the platform so that they'll, we have a great tech support department. They will set you up with the platform, and they're the ones that send you the videos if you can't make the live courses, or give you the information on how to log into the course, into the class. And so they're great. You can contact them, or you can always contact your trading consultant, and they will be able to help you as well. Okay. But this is going to be a fantastic course. Like I said, if you already have some of the other tools, like I said, the PET-D, the PTSXT, or the PSBI, these are all great indicators that will help with trade management. We will credit to give you a great discount on that, and so you won't have to pay the full price. Just contact Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677, and they can give you more information about pricing if you already have some of the tools, and about the early bird discount as well, okay? Good questions. Any more? Remember, on the chat box, there is a live link there. So if you want to click that on, you'll be able to do that there, and you'll get more information on that live link. Remember, trade management is everything that happens once you're in the trade, and then from that point on to when you close the trade. I would venture to say that most traders, when they first start trading, don't do anything in that space and time. They just kind of sit back and wait, or they let their emotions take care of them and say, oh, wow, this isn't working, or I've been in this trade too long, right? I've been holding this for 2, 3 days. I got to get out. I'm just holding too much money overnight. Trade management allows you to work with that. And that's what most traders never focus on. I know when I first started trading, I didn't focus on this, but trade management has helped me to increase my profits and minimize my risk. And it's extremely, extremely important. These things you won't learn from anywhere else because these are all things I've accumulated from my days on the floor. Another thing that's great about it is that they're all one click away on our platform. So even if you're having trouble understanding them, you can practice on the platform and see them appear. So it's going to be a great, great course. Starts in a couple of weeks on the 25th, and be a part of the early bird discount. Contact Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677. If there are no further questions, I just want to say thank you so much for attending as you take one last look at our disclaimer. But mostly, I really look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the 2-part Managing the Trade course. Thank you so much for attending. I hope to see you in class in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.